All right, salute everybody. Waiting for everyone to show up. We can get this going today. Um, y'all see the title. I don't have to go deep into it. Um, Yours truly, man. Just trying to defend some of the salacious accusations. Unfortunately, that our brother Malcolm had a part in doing. Salute. What's up, Tiff? So, you know, I got into it with a brother y'all officially know as Herm. And so today, we're here to kind of like peel back the layers and see what the truth is. Uh, so that's how I'm injected for today. Uh, yeah, it's me, Ishmael. I'm not feeling well today either, man. So I apologize if I'm a little. I'm not as energetic as I would like to be, but it's all good. So with that being said, though, just wait till everybody get here. And we can get this show on the road. Um, we ain't got time to waste with it. Just as I said, let's get it going. Let's get it rocking. Hopefully, Sturdy and them will show up and we'll get it. Let's see here. Copy. Sif, Ishmael, all the good people. Man, my computer running slow. Hmm. Put one in chat if y'all can hear me. Put a one in the chat if y'all can hear me. All right, appreciate it, Illis. Appreciate that, Illis. I get a different light. Shout out to Illis. Always looking out for some good suggestions. Waiting on people to show on up. I'm pretty sure people want to make a grand entrance as usual. So I hope you're happy for Jalen Hurts. Shout out, yeah, Tiff. I'm happy for Jalen Hurts. Fly Eagles fly. Anyway, with that being said, man, look, man, this has been thing that's been brewing for like the last week. Um, so yeah, I'm here to defend the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam, even though they need no defending. Um, but when somebody want to make mockery and not have a genuine understanding, I think it's disappointing. So instead of yelling back and forth with somebody, um, I chose to let's put the scholarship on the online. So salute, absolutely, Christopher Deep. What up, hoops? What up? So yeah, today is not so much about cooking. It's really about shedding light on a really tough period in history that hasn't healed the black community quite yet. And unfortunately, man, um, let me put the I'll put the link in the chat. Unfortunately, man, um, both sides have been that's in the chat. Both sides have really been at each other's neck, to say the least. And so, today I'm here to kind of like shed light um, on some of the missing pieces from then that we didn't have then. See, time, unfortunately, a lot of the things that we can uh, probably help the nation clear their name a lot sooner just wasn't available at the time because of uh, a conscious effort to do so, to not bring things to light. And so, and this government, man, it takes, uh, 50 years for them to release files on something. And so, by that time, half the people are dead, if not more than half. So, but yeah, we here, man. We about to get it rocking, rocking. Salute. 2-4. Who's 2-4? I'm Well, I guess you're gonna chill right there, and we'll just wait till brother Herm get here and sturdy. Um, yeah, man, it should be an interesting one, man. Hopefully, we do this in the best. Hopefully, we do this in the best of light, and that we can be, res- respectful in this dialogue. So that's what I'm hoping for. Um, but yeah, I don't have too much to say. I'm just trying to wait. Salute, casual.
Salute, brother. Salute.
What's going on with you, man?
Hey, man, trying to control these degenerates. Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
man. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what got us here in the first place. Huh? All right, Herm is here finally. I guess we'll wait if anybody else want to show up. Um,
Yep. I'll
but
put the link in the chat, in the VC, so everybody should be coming in shortly.
cool, cool, cool. All right, I'm getting them on in here. Waiting
Is there
for
anything with how you want to set this up? You want any questions you want us to ask, or you guys just you gonna go right into it?
No, ain't no questions. I think Sturdy said what, 4 rounds or 5 minutes apiece.
5 minutes for 5 4 minute rounds. I'm gonna set the timer for each person. And
Yeah,
so,
and so I mean that's pretty much it. We didn't.
mm,
No, I mean we can ask questions at the end once the round is over. You can ask whatever you want to ask.
okay.
Um, I mean, 'cause I did want it more time, but we'll make the 5 minutes work. I guess it is what it is. Um, is that everybody? I don't know. So I'm
Um,
waiting on Sturdy. And
yeah, sturdy. I think we got Ruddy, True, Hoops. Oh, Hoops in the chat though. You got Chris D there. Oh, hey, Miss Tiffany. Who else do we got? Oh, and then Swish.
okay, okay. I'm trying to get somebody added on right now. Okay, boom. This hoops. All right,
Yo,
we hear you, Swish. We hear
what's the
you.
word?
Now we about to get this going, man. All right. Well, before we get it going, I guess is there anything Herm wanna say?
Man, let's get to it, man.
Okay. Well, I guess you throwing the allegations out there. Go ahead and start it off.
Well, let's get it then. Well, I guess my whole premise of why I'm very critical of Elijah Muhammad, my whole basis of why I'm critical of him and why I believe certain things about him, I'm gonna use the 5 pillars of Islam to explain it. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start out with the declaration of faith. Um, we understand that aspect of it. Elijah Muhammad deemed to believe that he was the prophet of Muhammad, that he was the messenger. That's against the orthodox measures of Islam. Also he believed that his comrade that he looked up to was basically Allah on earth. Basically, that's like a that that's not normal for Muslims. Period, to think like that, because no man should be in the same category as God at all. So, with that being said, his leadership was in question right there. Because basically he just controlling everything. Basically, it's either my way or the highway. When you look at certain measures like how they did Ramadan, they basically fasted in December. They never fasted around Ramadan. The NOI basically was doing their own thing. Basically was doing the things at the tune that he see fit. When it comes to prayer, they basically was, most Muslims praying 5 times a day. They didn't really particularly measure that. They didn't really particularly go with that aspect of generally what most Muslims do. So basically, when I say that the NOI was a cult, it was due to the fact that it was a dictatorship. Due to the fact that if people challenged them, if people went against their ideals or any theories that they may have, they get exiled or they get punished in various different ways because they didn't adhere to what Elijah Muhammad was speaking. A lot of Muslims didn't agree with him, including his own son. His own son didn't agree with his father's leadership style. His name was Wallace. Didn't agree with him at all. You had athletes like Muhammad Ali. After Malcolm X's death, he regretted by choosing Elijah Muhammad's side over Malcolm X because he realized that Elijah Muhammad's teachings, the way that he carried the NOI wasn't the right way. That's why a lot of those guys went to Sunni Islam. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar didn't agree with it. Then you got other scholars and you got other Muslim leaders as well that I would get deep into the next round. I always touched on it, a light on about why they didn't agree. Even Farrakhan himself admitted certain things that Elijah Muhammad teaches it wasn't the right way of thinking. And that's why he went to the Sunni Islam as well, instead of rolling with the fact of the NOI. The NOI is not the end all be all when it comes to Islamic principles. End of the day, Elijah Muhammad went against the five pillars and created his own five pillars by the way he saw fit. So when somebody manipulates the five pillars to create it on their own, how can you be a great leader when you're going against the moral code and the basic principles of the Quran? You guys can look this up and look into detail, and they'll break down how he went against each pillar, each pillar. That's just the honest God truth. And then later on down the line, I will get into the allegations of the paternity lawsuits that he went through in 1964. And he dealt with those secretaries that were basically teenagers and between 17 to 21. Those women were young. He dealt with a lot of young secretaries. It was about 7 women. I could get the names, and I will down the line. I just given an open monologue just to explain that my whole basis of the debate is going to be expounded upon the 5 pillars. And that's how I'm going to break it down, each by each. But Elijah Muhammad was flawed. Elijah Muhammad basically was the Adolf Hitler to Islam. Because Adolf Hitler also had his own ideas, also had his own ways of moving, had his own ways that Nazis actually moved different from the KKK because of their certain beliefs that they had. Is it
Tom,
time?
Tom.
Is it how casual? How much time, little casual? Because I heard something.
Casual. Did he fall out?
Yeah, somebody said something. That's why I'm trying to see what's
My
that
fault.
time.
My fault. I'm here. Yeah, that's Tom, brother. O, it's
Okay.
Tom. Whenever you ready.
Give me a second. Give me a second.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because I want to do something real quick. All right. I don't need it. Anyway, I'm gonna share my screen real quick.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said give me a second.
No, you good. You good. Whenever you ready, I got the timer ready to start. Salute to Action
Before I
Jackson, by the
start
way.
off, salute Action Jackson. You can start it.
All right.
I just want to do a quick. Anybody is familiar with this brother right here? Put a 1 in the chat if you're familiar who this is. His name is there, but do you know who he is? Two in the chat if you don't know, because I'm gonna go somewhere with this. Okay, boom, boom, boom. All right, yeah, a couple people know. Cool. So look, that was beautiful there, Herm, I guess, but today's debate is not about the five pillars of Islam. Uh, it's not about whether we agree or do things with Orthodox Islam. All right, there's Alec. You say you would get into it later on, so I guess we'll get into it later on whenever you touch it. But this debate is about all the allegations of Malcolm X, legitimate, and he made two claims, three, two, I guess two and a half, but two of the claims were under young teenage secretary girls, teenage, and the second was we got money for H.L. Hunt. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get into it. And the reason I show you that first person was William O'Neill. William O'Neill is the one who set up our beautiful brother Fred Hampton. He was an informant. Nobody goes around and says the Black Panther Party killed Fred Hampton. Nobody goes and tries to say ill things about the Black Party, although they had their issues as well. Nobody goes around stating that William O'Neill killed that William O'Neill was just some informant. All right, like so. I'm trying to lay a foundation here with William O'Neill because the Nation of Islam suffer from the same type of informant, but yet we don't get the same type of grace. So let me go here. Can you see my PowerPoint screen? No? Can you see that? Anybody?
Yes, we see it.
The PowerPoint, not not William O'Neill.
No. I don't see that part.
Oh, all right. Stop it real quick, casual, because I gotta get this up. What am I doing wrong here? Give me a second. Let me see if I can get this together. Present. All right. Can y'all see it now? Yo. Casual.
Yep.
Can y'all see it?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, cool. All right, so look, the first thing I want to start off with here is Allah can go anywhere. If you're not careful with vetting information, anything can go happen. So look at here. Malcolm X was a bisexual. Get over it. This is the type of thing that can get you lost if you're not careful. Do anybody in here believe that Malcolm X was bisexual? But yet, this is a lot that's been plattered around, posted around the internet. And so, unfortunately, Malcolm was he was a victim of vicious lies, not by him per se. He just told what he heard because he was getting fed information. The question is from who? We'll get to it. But let's start with these sisters real quick. These because he said teenage secretary wives. How much time I got, casual?
Brother, I gave you an extra 30 seconds, so you just crossed the 2-minute warning mark.
Okay, boom. All right. So look, these are the wives of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It's funny because Malcolm never gave you the names. He never really, at least public, he never gave name. Now, here are the wives. We have Lucille Muhammad, Mother Lucille. Her first child was in 1960, January 17, 1960. Keep that in mind. Evelyn Williams, which is also another key person in this whole little thing. First child is 1960. Ola Muhammad, first child in 1960. June Muhammad, uh, first child in 1960. So let's get to their birthdays real quick because I want to get to this. As we see here, this is This is Mother Lucille, the dark-skinned sister to the right. This is Evelyn. This is the two sisters that you see in the movie. Mother Lucille's birthday, November 30th, 1930. I'm not good at math, but we can subtract 1930 from 1960 and tell me what that is. Y'all can get back at me. It's 30 years old. She was 30 years old when she had her first child. Again, first child was Sadi Muhammad, January the 17th, 1960. All right, so we can save a little time here. Mother Evelyn, again, the one that you see in the movie. Right here next to her, you see the daughter from the movie as well. This is the young girl that was sitting in her lap that Malcolm went to go visit. July 8, 1934. Mother Ola, February
Time.
22nd. I'll finish it up.
Time. Yeah. Uh, uh, Herm, I gave him an extra 30 seconds, so I will give you a 30-second head start as well to go into your 5 minutes, okay? Whenever you're ready, Herm.
Yeah, give me back a couple of seconds. Give me a couple of
Okay.
seconds.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm straightening out something right quick. My bad, y'all.
You all good. Niggas taking a shower? The fuck?
Bring my phone back. Why you got my phone? Bring my phone back.
Whenever you ready, Herm.
Man, I'm a freestyle. I got a little noise. That's why I was trying to hold out, but I could go on here and roll now.
You good?
Yeah, you better start touching on the women and then try to pull up the ages, but the estimates around those secretaries around that time, yes, you try to bring up his wife, June Muhammad. I understand that was his wife. That probably was the oldest one, but even then, at the time when she was a secretary, she was 21 years old. But for the most part, most of the women was between 17 and 19. Like for instance. I could give you an example. Johnny May Muhammad. Johnny May Muhammad was between 17 and 19 around the time that she um, started being involved with Elijah Muhammad um, when she was the secretary for the NOI. Elijah Muhammad has a history of dealing with younger women and dealing with his secretaries. That's just the bottom line. Why you think it was paternity suits? The paternity suits consisted of 6 women that was involved in it. You had Evelyn Williams, Lucille Rosary Muhammad. You had June Muhammad, Johnny May Muhammad, Tanetta Muhammad, and you had Kadia Farrakhan. But they didn't confirm the paternity claims because they was dropped in 1965 basically months after Malcolm X was murdered. So we really don't have an inclination of what really took place and how that really happened. But with Louis Farrakhan, though, in his 50s, I forgot the exact year, but if we could pull it up on anybody could pull it up on YouTube if you guys want to fact check me. In one of his when he was talking about it, he admitted in one of his speeches that hell he knew about Elijah Muhammad affairs. But it's not the fact that he dealt with the women was the problem. It's the fact that he had a strict moral code for any member of the NOI dealing with multiple women, and he did not tolerate that through his teachings. So the fact that he taught the men of the NOI not to be involved with multiple women and just deal with one and be committed with one, he went against his own teachings to fuck around and dealt with several women, multiple women, more than 5 women. So he basically a hypocrite of his own teachings. He already going against the 5 pillars of Islam by basically saying that he's Prophet Muhammad, basically saying that he's the messenger of the Quran, and he basically trying to say that is a guy that he looked up to. It's Allah. It's the living flesh of Allah. So he already going against that. So now he teaching young men and other men that were lost that, hey, you guys should only deal with one woman and one woman only. And we do have a strict moral code about that. And you guys will get punished if you deal with other women. But he broke his own strict rules. So that's the main issue. Yes, those women were young, which is a problem with me as well, but I do understand the test of times that dealing with 17-year-olds and up back then wasn't made a big deal, because that's what particularly happened. Hell, we could look at our grandparents and see the big age difference and understand that damn granddaddy, man, had grandma young. We understand that. But the biggest thing of them all, the biggest crime of them all, is that he went against his moral code. He went against his code of ethics of what he was teaching to his people to basically be a womanizer, to basically deal with multiple women, which was against the code that he created for the NOI. So how can I take this man seriously? How can I say that he's a great leader and he basically is showing signs that he's a damn hypocrite? So yes, we gonna have Brother O try to touch on things that happened in the Discord. This is a debate. You can't bring Discord talking to a debate, and I'm not gonna let you shift it, because my whole premise of even when I was in the Discord is that I think Elijah Muhammad is a poor leader, and I did say a lot of derogatory things about Elijah Muhammad. So that's what I'm standing on. I do think he's a hypocrite. I do think that he wasn't a good father figure, a good brother to Malcolm X, because if he was righteous, if he did have a good soul, he wouldn't have let this ego in which he, like I said, he already think that he's the messenger. He already think that he's Prophet Muhammad. So if he already think he's Prophet Muhammad, he think that he's bigger than all. He think that he's the end-all, be-all of the NOI. So instead of willing a brother in, he cast him away just because he challenged him, just because he was disgusted of findings that he found out about him. That's not being righteous. That's just showing you that if it's not about you and nobody's not basically bowing down to you, you not go forward with them. And the NOI is separate. It's separate from Islam.
All right,
It's
Tom.
not normal Islam teachers.
Tom. All right, brother. Oh, it's on you whenever you're ready.
Give me a second.
All right.
You can start.
All righty.
Well, first thing first, we gotta clear this up. I like what you're doing, Herm. You're giving names, but you're not giving no context. You're not giving no sources to these names, so nobody knows what or who you're talking about. This is why I'm providing pictures with dates. Okay. First thing you capped about a lot, but this let me know where you told it off. You said Khadijah Farrakhan was a part of this fraternity lawsuit. I don't know if you noticed or not, Herm, brother Herm. Louis Farrakhan didn't have the name Farrakhan in 1964. He was going around as Louis X. He didn't get, the messenger didn't give him that name to the 70s. So I don't know how you're going to have a Khadijah Farrakhan in anything, which is his wife. He was going around as Louis X. So that's, I mean, nice try, but again, you said Tynetta and June was not as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's first wife. It was Sister Clara. I didn't put her up there because that's a given. She's 2 years younger than him. She was born in 1899. But again, this is about Malcolm X's allegations. Were they right or were they legitimate? That's what it was. That's what we agreed upon. And part of his allegations was the young teenage secretary women. Well, I'm giving you names and dates. This is Mother June, which you tried to say, 1938, July 25th. Again, her first child is 1960. I don't want to stay too long because I only got 5 minutes. This is why I didn't want to do 5 minutes. The only person I couldn't really get a clear picture was Bernice. But this is Sister Bernice back there in the back, May 3rd, 1941. But this is about Malcolm X's words. Were they correct? Because, again, this all started with Malcolm X coming out of a court hearing that he had with the Nation of Islam for his house. This is in 1964. Malcolm X knew about the wives December 1962. So where is this more impasse that he has all the way up until 64? See, that's why I say time and dates are critical. You just talking and talking, brother, and no disrespect. But I need to understand the chronological order of things. But I know it. But I'm gonna give more context to it later. But let's look. See, Malcolm came out that hearing because he's losing his house that we give to the ministers, and he used for the first time young secretary girls. But let's look at something. Queens County eviction trial, 1964. Transcript: Muhammad's Temple of Islam versus Malcolm X. Queens County Civil Court, 15 and 16, June 1964, the New York City Department of Records, the Information Service, Municipal Archives in the city of New York. You can find this on page 176 to 205. What did Malcolm say? Because he's the source. This is Malcolm's words. They would rather take public court than keep it private among the Muslims, simply because I told Joseph, which we'll get to that, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had taken on 9 wives. Wives, not secretary girls, not especially teenage girls. But let's go a little further here. New York Post, February 23rd. This is after Malcolm has passed at this point. He's been assassinated. So obviously they doing their think pieces. Malcolm X says again, they quote him, I told members of my mosque that Elijah Muhammad was living with 9 wives and 6 children by these wives. I left out the rest of it, but he says, I later come to find out that there were 7. This is Malcolm's words. So this more impasse that he has, I don't know where you're getting this from. But let's go a little further, because he said that Malcolm, he was feeling some type of way. Let's read the autobiography of Malcolm X. This is 1963. He said February 1963. Let's start with, he says, I officiated the University of Islam graduation. So he's at a graduation. I'm trying to move it on up. Boom. All right, Elijah Muhammad. I hope y'all can see this. This is 305 of the autobiography of Malcolm X. Elijah Muhammad had me fly to Phoenix to see him in April 1963, not 64. We embraced, as always, and almost immediately he took me outside where we began to walk by the swimming pool. He was the messenger of Allah. I don't care what Herm says. Malcolm believed it. I was a fool. I was foul, vicious convict. So evil that other convicts, he called me Satan. This man had rescued me. He was the man who had trained me. He had treated me as if I was his own flesh and blood. He was the man who had given me wings to go places, to do things otherwise never would have dreamed of. We walked in and caught up with a whirlwind of emotions. He said, well, son, Mr. Muhammad said, what is on your mind? Plainly, frankly, pulling no punches, I told Mr. Muhammad what was being said. And without waiting for any response from him, I said, with his son Wallace, who you mentioned earlier, help I found in the Quran and Bible that which be taught to the Muslims. It became necessary. This is Malcolm, as a fulfillment of prophecy. His words.
I know. All right, Herm. Funny enough, I even gave you 30 seconds that time. So, Herm, I owe you 30 seconds whenever you're ready.
I'll let you know when I actually want to use. I may use the last round. So, but I'm
Okay,
about to
so you
get.
want me to just keep doing the 5 until you do it next
Yeah,
round?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Let's just keep it quite frank. With this. When you mentioned about the young secretaries, what I did in 1993 when Louis Farrakhan did his speech at the Savior's Day Convention in 1993, that he admitted that Elijah Muhammad fathered multiple children with his young secretaries. That's what he said. But he did try to cover it up, though. He did try to justify why he did. But at the same time, Louis Farrakhan admitted it. So, end of the day, yes, anybody could pull up things like you basically trying to call out my things that I could pull up a lie. I could do the same thing with yours because you ain't pull no real documents to really just show like what you saying is the actual truth. But when it comes down to it, Louis Farrakhan, one of the prominent leaders, one of the prominent faces of the NOI, admitted in 1993 that Elijah Muhammad was dealing with his young secretaries. Why the hell we going back and forth and arguing about it for? He did what he did, and guess what? He went against what he taught his followers to do. He went against that. End of the day, anybody can look this up now that he had a strict code for his followers for when it comes to dealing with multiple women. And you don't want to see that aspect of it. All you try to do is because I was in my troll mode, getting in your head about some things that you still want to constantly bring up the Discord talk. This conversation is about the lack of leadership, how bad of a leader Elijah Muhammad was. Yes, Malcolm X is a part of it because he condemned Elijah Muhammad. He called him out on his BS. So yes, Malcolm X is the center of it. And end of the day, it's quite odd, quite ironic because he was exiled and because he was calling him out that something happened to him. We don't know who did it. Yes, it was the guy that was wrongly convicted and he spoke about it. Something that you might bring up. We understand that. But at the same damn time, though, a guy that Elijah Muhammad was about to hand the keys to, that wanted to hand the keys to, he knows some things about Elijah Muhammad. You can't sit up there and act like that Malcolm X don't know any skeletons that Elijah Muhammad may have. Because he was close. He was right there. The keys was going to get handed to him. And you admitted this. So the keys were going to get handed to Malcolm X. Why in the hell that you trying to make it, try to downgrade Malcolm X or talk down on him because he had the nerve to call out Elijah Muhammad, a guy that considers himself the messenger of Allah. Come on now. It's about egos that had a falling out. Wow. His son went against his father teachers. That's why he reformed the NOI in 1975, because he did not agree what his father did. Because of that aspect. Because it was basically a dictatorship. Because of it. So honestly, man, Elijah Muhammad's biggest issues is to deviate that he deviated from the Quran, claiming to be the messenger. He deviated from the racial teachings, basically displaying evil, basically displaying hate, teaching hate, calling Caucasians white devils. That's not in basic Islam principles to do that. And you got certain people called him out. Yusuf Estes, an Islamic scholar, called him out because the false claim that Allah appeared in human form as Wallace Ford Muhammad. That's what Elijah Muhammad was spreading to the NOI. That Wallace Ford Muhammad was Allah in human form. Come on now, the Quran don't teach that. Allah is beyond human form. We know that. So I'm calling out the hypocrisies of Elijah Muhammad. I'm calling out the fact that he is guilty of some of those things. He may not be a pedophile in your eyes, but he's damn sure guilty of being a hypocrite of his own teachings to his people. That's just as big as a crime and being a damn pedophile in my book. So anybody can look this up and see that I'm not lying. You can pull up the BS you want to, but that's coming from a biased form of talk because you are part of Islamic faith. So you may have been misled about your visions of Elijah Muhammad, but how can you back a guy that considers himself the messenger of Allah? How can you back a guy that said Allah was in human form? How can you back that? That's time, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, brother. It's on you.
All right.
You know what to
Give
do.
me a second. Give me a second. Just a second.
Do you think? Let me. Whenever you start talking, that's when I'll start the comment.
Go ahead.
All right.
I don't even know where this is going now. You all over the place. You know what I'm saying? This debate started with you. We agreed what the title would be is Malcom X claims legitimate. Again, we're not Orthodox Islam. We don't carry ourselves like Orthodox Islam. We don't claim to be. And if you want to talk about scholars calling us, we call our scholars as well. We ask for open debates. Have those scholars took us up on that yet? You know the answer. You know the answer. So again, this is not about that. This is about the claims. You brought up 1993. Dang, I don't get no time. You brought up 1993. Again, that same 1993, these women that I'm showing you that's on here, this is from that Savior's Day, 1993. Sister Evelyn. Again, I don't have enough time to show everybody the video because Herm cut me to 5 minutes. But this is that Savior's Day. This is the women, the young teenage secretary girls. They're cleaning up on stage for you. They telling you that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was an honorable man. This is their words. Go look at the video. Savior's Day, 1993. And again, the minister said he knew he was messing with young teenage secretary girls. The minister knew he had wives. That's what he said. These women were at that Savior's Day. And unfortunately, they had some, and they spoke about the fraternities case that Malcolm tried to coerce them to. They didn't say coerce. Let me take the back. He said Malcolm came to them about it. But again, if we love Malcolm, which I love Malcolm, and we say our Malcolm was calling out bull, and he's an honorable man and an oral and ethical man, I'm with y'all. The problem you have here now, if the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was a moral and unethical man, forget the religious ideology, because this debate is not about religious doctrine. You told me to stay away from religious doctrine, Herm. The Discord heard you. I don't want to deal with the religious doctrine. But this woman here, Mother Evelyn, guess who was engaged to her first? Oh, y'all got it. Malcolm X. Hey, quick Google. Hey, y'all can quickly Google that real quick. Was Malcolm X engaged to Mother Evelyn, Sister Evelyn at the time, Muhammad? He was engaged to her first. So is Malcolm a pedophile? This common knowledge, you can just Google it real quick for me, please. Problem is he engaged to her, and this is why this subject is so messy that I don't want to do this to Malcolm, but you're forcing my hand. he called off the engagement to her 2 or 3 days later and ended up marrying Betty Shabazz. That we know Sister Betty Shabazz today. And it was caught. Mother Evelyn was running out the mosque crying. You can Google it. Hurry up and Google it real quick, because I ain't got time. Now he's saying bring no facts. I'm bringing you up a court documents transcript. I'm giving you dates and time so people can look at it. You can factually prove what I'm saying. This is Malcom. This is his words. You can see the transcript. This is why I gave you page and number. This is why I gave you the book. All right? 305 of the autobiography of his words. Let me finish this real quick. I don't know how much time I got, but he says, fulfillment of prophecy. Remember that. Son, I'm not surprised, Elijah Muhammad said, you always had a good understanding of prophecy and spiritual things. You recognize that with all this prophecy, you had the kind of understanding that only an old man has. You know, again, I'm not gonna go too much into that. That's Malcolm words saying 1963, he knew about this, and he said he went with Wallace to find it in scripture. That's him. And the movie so wicked that it made it seem like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did that, but it was actually Malcolm. All right, let me go here. Let's see here. Who killed Malcolm again? I'm gonna just throw this again. You can see right here, sister of Malcolm X charged. He was assassinated by the CIA. And the reason I'm doing this who killed Malcolm thing is trying to get y'all to understand that if we didn't kill him, then clearly Malcolm wasn't worried about no teenage secretary girls, because there were no teenage secretary girls. Again, that was information given to him by the CIA and the FBI. I'll get to that later to prove that point. And Malcolm took it and ran with it because he was in the battle with the House. Malcolm was. You said time?
Yeah, time. Now, if I could just say this before we go into this last round, brothers, this time around, this round, I'm not doing the 5 minute limit. I'm gonna give you guys as much time as you need. As soon as you say you done, you done. Because to be quite honest with you, I think we all on this panel, and even especially in the chat, can agree that you guys are arguing two separate points, but both points are viable to, just knowledge, period. So I want you guys to get all of the information out, and I don't want to hold you guys back. So you feel free to go as far as you guys want.
Hold on, Casual. What's the limit though? What's the limit on minutes?
I'm not putting a limit on neither one of you guys. Get your
That's
final points
BS,
off, and then we done.
That's BS, though. I didn't agree to that. Now you put in the late stipulation, man. I ain't agreeing to that.
Well, Herm, what would you like the limit to be, good brother?
Well, it need to be the 5 minutes. That's what I agreed to, because that the case it should have been negotiated.
Get your round through, because you about to piss me off. Get your round on.
You pissing me off. You want to change shit up last round for what? Niggas should have had this shit together to get your shit in 5 minutes is a long time to get your shit to go. Come on now, that shit ain't cool.
Get your 5 minutes. Get you the 5. I'll give you 5 minutes and 30.
Let him go then, since you want to make last minute adjustments.
Go ahead. We'll stick to the 5 minutes. Herm. No problem, brother. Go ahead.
End of the day, Malcolm X was never engaged to Evelyn Williams. That's for one. I don't know what you get that from. I don't know whether you connected with some brothers that so-called was around or something, but that's not accurate at all. But when it comes down to it, I never disrespected Islam as a religion itself. But I did disrespect the NOI because I do believe that it's like a dictatorship. I do believe it's just a vision of one person. And if you stand up to that person and go against their teachings or challenge their teachers or challenge their moral code, that it was the consequences and repercussions of being a part of that organization. End of the day, we do have a right to have questions. Did Malcolm go about it the wrong way? Hell yeah. He could have easily done that behind the scenes and could have got clarification that he needed, even though he was pissed off or hurt or what may be the case. But at the same time, we're not gonna sit up there and act like that when somebody teaches his group, teaches being the leader of men. You teaching people that we got a strict code. We got a strict code of dealing with multiple women, and if we not allowing that at all, period. And your leader, the man that's running this whole organization, went against what he taught you to do it. If you guys don't see that as a problem, I don't know what it is. If you don't see that man as being a hypocrite, I don't see. You guys don't know the real definition of. If you guys don't see this man being a bad leader, I don't see the definition of what man basically calls himself the messenger of Allah. What man calls another man Allah, Allah in human form, basically saying God in human form? Who does that? But a man that has an ego. But a man that basically is selfish, that he had his own motives and own needs and his own wants of how he wants things to be. The NOI, it transformed through his son, changed some things up. They adopted the Orthodox form of Islam instead of rolling with the teachings and the following of what his father believed to be the right code of ethics. But it wasn't the right code of ethics. Because if we about brotherhood, you bring a brother in, even when he's wrong, even when he's out of line of the way he's moving. If Elijah Muhammad was so profitable, why he couldn't reel in Malcolm X and be like, come here, son. We gonna get this right. We gonna make this right. And they never made it right. And Elijah Muhammad not once didn't show any remorse for Malcolm X. Didn't show any remorse to the point that he wished things didn't go the way it went. He was so caught up into being the messenger of Allah that if anybody challenged that, he didn't want to deal with them, period. But when it comes down to it, y'all, you guys can look this up. Why so many of the most known Muslim leaders condemn the teachings that Elijah Muhammad disposed of, well, I said the word wrong, put upon the NOI? Why so many Muslims, like a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, a prominent famous athlete that could have been beneficial to the NOI, refused to be around it? Why Muhammad Ali, after the murder of Malcolm X, realized that this is not the way to go? Why even Louis Farrakhan changed from his militant ways into the Orthodox form of Islam? Because one thing we do know about God, no matter which God you believe is God, no man, no human is bigger than God. But one thing about Elijah Muhammad, he made himself bigger than God. He wanted to be bigger than God. He wanted to be bigger than Islam itself. Hell, he thought he was the Quran, for crying out loud. But the thing is, we wasn't there. So we don't know what's true, what's not. But we do know if a man was about to get handed the keys to the mansion, he knows what's in it. He knows the secrets, the deep, dark secrets. So who are we to condemn Malcolm X for being a liar? And Elijah Muhammad shown many instances of being the biggest hypocrite ever. So I'm done.
Got you there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. All right.
Now, time starts when you ready.
All right. I don't even know where to go because it's Herm all over the place with me right now.
I just want to say 5 minutes and 30 seconds and 60 milliseconds. I
Okay,
don't
you can
know.
start me
I
now.
don't know.
You start me
All right.
again. Herm, this is a debate And we didn't get to none of the stuff, but again, you're talking about our ideology. You're talking about all the stuff that does not matter because whether you want to agree with it or not, Malcolm agreed and believed that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was a messenger of God. He believed that to his dying day. So whether Kareem Abdul-Jabbar agree with us or not, that's not our standard. Our standard of Islam is not the same thing. So is Orthodox Islam the one you want to follow? Not you per se, but Sunni Muslims, the white Muslims over there in the Middle East, is that the standard? There's a reason why the Nation of Islam is the Nation of Islam. You keep going back to what Ward Dean, yeah, he did have some problems. The problem is when Elijah Muhammad transitioned, he ran the nation to the ground and he was gone, trying to be over there with them Sunni Muslims. So that money problem you kept trying to spam, that wasn't due to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It was due to Ward Dean Muhammad. And it took Farrakhan to come back and rebuild the nation. And right now, today, we're bigger and better than we ever been. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said his best soldiers are in the streets, not in the mosque. But again, if you can see my screen, because we didn't touch on this, because Malcolm also got fed bad information by again, the U.S. government. That started this salacious lie that we got money from H.L. Hunt. This is one of Malcolm's things. But again, it was a lie. Even Malcolm didn't stand on it. If you listen to Malcolm's words, you hear him say, I heard. He didn't say with a fact. But let's look, because Herm keeps saying we wasn't there. You're right, I wasn't there. This is why you do research. This is why I have footnotes. This is why I have sources to tell me what was going on at the time. New York Times, you can see it right here on the screen. August 17th, 1964. H.L. Hunt, you haven't asked me yet if I'm financing the black Muslims. Mr. Hunt says, Wiley, all over the country, they're saying I am. So I want to be asked that. His answer, no, it's not true. I don't know anything about them except they're a bad Negro group. I could go into his background and all that, but this man, H.L. Hunt, was no friend of black people. All right? This vicious lie got started because of the president at the time. They were, again, this is the whole I don't want to go down. The point was they had he had a falling out with the president because he backed the other candidate that year. And so he told this lie. But so again, we don't have to continue with the wise things. Again, he absolutely was married. I mean, engaged to Evelyn. I don't know why. Again, I mean, I can show it to you. All you do is just simple Google. I don't know if you can see my screen or not, but I'm sharing it. Dang. I'll show it afterwards. Again, the two lies that stand upon. Oh shoot! Yeah, let me do this. You said we didn't take him back in, but we actually were negotiating his return. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Ben forgave him. This is from February 4th. February 26, 1965, after he had passed, about William Frederick. And he reveals Malcolm X and Muhammad held peace talks. And this peace talk was going on for much longer than that. So again, that's the source. I'm gonna give you the source again. New York Daily News, February 26, 1965. The writer William Frederick. So again, Herm, you keep saying these things with no sources. I'm gonna give you another one. New York Post. Malcolm X himself initiated peace talks with the Muslim chief Elijah Muhammad. Let me see here. Again, this New York Post, more than once in the 11 months between they split and Malcolm's death, it was learned Malcolm concurred secretly with the 67-year-old Muslim leader several times in Chicago. Muhammad reported offers to take Malcolm back into the Muslim fold in a subordinate position if he would disband his own movement. And the reason we wanted to disband that movement, because you understand, Malcolm at the time was running around with guns and stuff like that. The nation, we don't carry weapons. So again, Herm, I hear you doing a lot of talking. You done already made a few mistakes. You're talking about Khadijah Farrakhan when he didn't have the name Farrakhan. You're talking about the 93 lecture where he had all the wives, not all because they weren't living, but he had most of the wives up there to speak for themselves. You can get their birthdays. I gave them to you. All you got to do is just go look for them. Ancestry or something, whatever they use. And tell me if they match or not. Mother Evelyn, he was absolutely engaged to it. But let me read I can read an excerpt from the autobiography. Let's see what it says in the autobiography. Evelyn Williams, one of the most fascinating characters in the book, fell in love with Malcolm when he was a street hustler, then moved to Harlem and joined the nation after he became a Muslim. Malcolm proposed to her, but changed his mind days later. That's in Manny Marble's book. Again, I don't know what we doing here, man. You came here to talk, and I appreciate that, brother. But I thought we was coming here to not just talk, but to give something credible. I put this together for a reason. You say I don't have sources. Again, I'm giving you sources, brother. All this is sources. All right? We didn't get into the assassination and the government and all that because you want to focus on a few things. That's fine. We can. But if you want to go on religious doctrine, then we'll have a discussion about that another day. But today was Malcolm X allegations legitimate? That's what we agreed upon. Sturdy was there. So, tell me about what we doing from an Islamic standpoint that you don't understand. And even if you understand, you still might not agree. But again, we're not here to agree on our ideology. This debate was set forth about young teenage secretary girls, which I've showed you the names and dates of the kids. You can look at the children as well. They here. Most of them still alive. Check and see if these dates pan out. Lucille and Evelyn, which were the two main people. Oh, and the fraternity suit, again, it was only two of the women. Sister Tanetta was not a part of that. But if you don't believe me, go to the video I showed you, and you can see Sister Tanetta on stage. I didn't put her picture up here, but 1993 Savior's Day, and just go towards the end, you can see these women speak for themselves. Forget what me and Herm saying. Go watch them for themselves. These are pictures from that day. You can see the sources. These teenage secretary girls, quote unquote. But again, they weren't teenage secretary girls because we know this because Malcolm's own words.
Done.
We got
Done.
Yes, sir.
So we got what? Myself, Hoops, Ishmael, Jason the Kid. Obviously, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Hearing this, again, to the two contestants, brother, O, obviously, and Herm. I appreciate you guys for even participating in this conversation. But it didn't feel like it was really a debate. It was more of just confusion over each other's point of view. Um, and so I want to go around just to get everybody's thoughts that was here to hear it. And then also, you guys in the chat, if you still participating, we want you guys to give your thoughts too. So Ishmael, do you have any questions or any thoughts that you had listening to the debate? Because I know we were really anticipating this one throughout the VC. No, no. Jason the Kid, anything?
Well, mostly on my behalf, I was just coming really to learn, something because I don't really know, especially not to sit here and like say who's right or who's not. A couple of things that y'all talked about, looked up myself, not for nothing. So I got a little knowledge of certain things, but that's all I basically came here for, just to listen and what I'm saying, learn something basically.
For sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. Swish, I know you was in and out, but you got any thoughts on what the conversation at hand?
Yeah, I'm just glad they was able to get their information off. They ain't really, even though they was muted when the other person was talking, they wasn't, going back and forth, calling each other out their name or whatever.
Hmm.
They got their information off, and that's just what it was, bro. I mean, a lot of what was being said, I mean, it was just from both sides. It was just information that was already put out there. So it really ain't no winner or loser with me. Like I said, I was just here to hear them get their information off.
Agreed, agreed. Hopes, hopes, brother Debo. What's your thoughts?
Um, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to say I did feel like maybe the name of the debate should have been different. Um, Based on what I heard, because um, it seemed like it was more about the hypocrisy from Herm's side, with the doctrine. It seemed like more on Brother O's side. His argument was basically, it seemed like to me, was the inconsistencies with Malcolm's, the things that he were said. So it felt like they were arguing two different points. Um, but I do think it was both valuable information that was brought to the table. I just think in terms of the legitimacy of of Malcolm, what he was saying about um, Elijah Muhammad. I think um, I think Brother O's, some of his arguments were a little bit more consistent with that, but that's just my opinion.
All right, all right. And then if you don't mind, brother, I'll just give my little thoughts before I let you guys, give your final thoughts on the entire conversation. Because just for you guys that are in the chat that are not a part of Take Debates, this has been stemming for like, I want to say about 2 weeks now, 3 weeks. So it's good that we finally got off of this. But um, I did want the video to get played a little bit. I've never seen that video. If we could do that before the stream is over with. Um,
Yes, sir.
but but as far as the conversation, as far as the debate, and itself, I just think it was a little bit of generalities compared to trying
mm,
to dive into those generalities. I think when it came to Herm, he was talking about secrets. He said in his last round, he was talking about a lot of secrets that haven't come out, and I was a little interested to like hear what are these secrets, potential secrets that haven't come out. But even still, I think it was a good conversation. It was very productive, and I'm glad that you guys were able to get your takes off. But I just think this was just a confusion in where you guys are where each of you guys were trying to take the debate, right? Because like throughout the entire debate, it was just like and now we were supposed to be talking about this, and it was like now we're supposed to be talking about this, and so like it got to a point in which like I was hearing brother you speak about the timeline and how the timeline doesn't add up with some of the allegations versus Herm talking more along the lines of the not necessarily the timeline. It doesn't matter when it happened, though these are some allegations, these are some serious allegations that still haven't, been proven otherwise. So I think it was a little bit of disconnect, but all in all, I learned something from this and I'm pleased with it. Do you guys want to go, talk a little bit before we wrap this up?
I don't got too much to say. I'll play a video for you if you want me to play it. But
Yes,
again,
please.
I did deep dive into what I was allowed to deep dive in. This is why I was advocating for 10 minutes at least.
Hmm.
Because the information, you can't do this type of information in 5 minutes.
I agree with that.
So
Yeah.
it wasn't that I was trying to like keep Herm and y'all past y'all time, but 5 minutes to dive into this, especially when there's two main accusations that got to get cleared up. And so again, Sturdy was there. Yeah, most of y'all were there, yeah, but Sturdy was there. He can attest to what we agreed upon. And what we agreed upon was Malcolm X claims legitimate. Not the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, if he really is a messenger. Why is he calling himself a messenger? Master Farad Muhammad, being God in person. That's a totally different debate. That's an ideological debate. That's an ideology debate. Herm told me, and y'all heard him say it, keep your religious doctrine out of this. Y'all heard him. And I said, I won't deal with no religious doctrine. We're going to deal with the information. And again, to say, again, some of this stuff is but what I said because I didn't get to go deeper. But again, I gave the sources for a reason. I gave the transcript of the linchpin of this whole topic, which was young teenage secretary girl. That's the first time you ever heard Malcolm anybody say that. And it was him coming out that court hearing from the house doing the interview. The problem I'm having, I'm trying to get people to see, this is why I put the transcript up of the date and page number, you can find it. And his words, because under court of law, Malcolm used the correct language. He called them wives. And he made it no big deal. Because if you go back to my quote again, it said, Malcolm said, I would rather they would rather take a public court than keep it privately amongst the Muslims. Simply, his words, simply. That's the word that he used, simply. No big deal. Because I told Joseph that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had taken on 9 wives. He didn't say teenage secretary girls. And why is this such a big problem? In 1962-ish, Malcolm suspended Captain Joseph for doing the same thing that he's doing to the Elijah Muhammad. What is that? There were rumors about Malcolm X and women. Captain Joseph went everywhere around the world except to Malcolm about the allegation. In our law, you have 2 things to do. You go straight to the person and have them talk and defend themselves or have them address it, or you leave it alone. Captain Joseph didn't do that to Malcolm. So Malcolm put Captain Joseph on suspension. This is why anybody who knows anything about the story of Malcolm and Captain Joseph, they had a toxic relationship because of this. Malcolm suspended Joseph for the very same thing. So when Herb said we don't give no grace to, we didn't give grace, we gave absolute grace to, again, no one person is bigger than the whole. There were many ministers in the mosque, in the nation. Malcolm wasn't the only one. So again, the reason I'm giving these sources, I gave you the book, his words. Because I'm not, again, we didn't get into all the other stuff, the COINTELPRO. The reason I started with William O'Neill for a reason. I thought we was going to get time to do it, but again, Herm, he took it, he took it another way. But I wanted to lay a foundation, because if you can remove the thought that we murdered Malcolm, then everything else falls. Which I have
Well, I'm gonna ask you this right quick.
Yes, sir.
That book that you always referring to. Who wrote the book? Who's the author of the book?
Which book, brother?
The book that you referenced your sources, your quotes from.
Well,
It's the reason why I'm asking.
I reference more than just a book.
Nah, but it's the reason why I'm asking though.
Well, again, that's the autobiography. You know,
All right, who wrote
Alex
it?
Haley,
Alex Haley
Manny
wrote that.
Marble.
Okay. And Alex Haley is a controversial figure, right?
Okay.
So here's the thing with autobiographies. They don't always give you the clear-cut information, the accurate information. So what I'm saying is I could easily do the same thing. Doesn't mean that I'm right. Doesn't mean that I'm wrong. It's just how I interpret it, whether a person will believe what I'm putting out there or not. So what I'm basically saying with the reputation of Alex Haley, we can't be 100% certain the quotes that you quoting saying what Malcolm said is actually the case. We can't say that. Because I'm pretty sure at the time of Malcolm's demise, I don't think that nigga was preparing an autobiography. I don't think the man was prepared that he was going to be gone and have somebody write his life story.
Not true.
I don't think that actually. So, in my opinion, with the controversy of Alex Haley as a whole himself, I believe we can't take the autobiography word for word and really can't use it for any valuable information, to be honest.
Yes, sir. Okay. Well, so what part of because people you like to use the autobiography when it's convenient for them. So all of the salacious things that are said about the nation, those are true. Again, or
I think a lot of them are. I think some are lies, but I think a lot of them are.
Well, again, this is why we cross-reference, though, Herm.
Yeah,
I'm not just pulling something as an isolated thing.
I posted some things in the group chat. I could have posted more, but what I'm saying, even when we pull from our sources, it's not gonna always be 100% accurate. So, at the end of the day, it's gonna be deficiencies in basically everything we both are saying.
But you can't make a deficiency in the court hearing, Herm.
But what I'm saying is though, if I bring something
did
to
that
the
court
light,
hearing happen, Herm? Yes or no?
What you say?
Did that Vixen trial happen on June 15 and 16? Did it happen? Yes or no?
What trial you talking about?
I'm talking about the court hearing that when Malcom first said teenage secretary girls.
You know that case was thrown out after he was murdered though. They had the civil suits in 1964. It was thrown out in 1965 conveniently after he was murdered though. So I think that would have been a long little process. I think that would have kept going.
That's not my question on here. That's not my question.
Nah, but I'm answering from my
No, I didn't ask you when it got completed. I'm asking you, did it happen? Because you saying I'm pulling from book. No, I'm pulling from the court records, brother. When you go to court,
you don't have the exact court documents. You don't,
brother. That's why I gave you the.
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
I gave you the case number and the.
That's not accurate though. I know it's not accurate.
Oh no, so no court documents are accurate anymore.
Now, what did you get it? Did you get it officially from the courthouse itself?
You can go online, Herman, and this how you access the court.
Did you get it physically from the courthouse itself?
Don't. You can go all around the world. No, I didn't go to Queens, New York, but nobody has to go to Queens, New York. Bro, I didn't have to go to Queens, New York.
You know a lot of things from back in the day.
I don't want to see now. You get now. You get more conspiracy theory than it already is.
If you're not literally getting it from the courthouse from stuff in the '60s, you can't get that type of stuff online.
That's not true.
No, you can't.
All right. Well, we don't have to debate that, brother. We just move on. The point is, at least I brought something. Let's start with that. Can you bring anything to combat that? So again. and a lot of people still. I got quotes from other people, his sisters, his brothers, his nephew. I mean, I don't know what you want. Like, you tell me what you thinking. What you? I'm bringing up quotes from these people.
I mean, I'm cool. You could bring up quotes all you want. I could bring up quotes too, but I don't think
Bring
your
them.
quotes are.
Well,
I
you should
don't
have
think.
brought them then, brother.
No, I did bring some quotes. I just
No, you
not
didn't.
trying to. I'm just not. Yes, I did. I'm just not trying to citate everything like you, because I
But
know that stuff is not 100% accurate. That's what I'm basically telling you, bro. Like the stuff
no.
that you pull from the autobiography, especially from that damn author, that
But
stuff
he
is
ain't the
not
author.
all
It's
the
an
way. That
autobiography,
stuff is
brother.
not all the way true.
It's an autobiography, brother.
That's not all the way. All
Well, so
autobiographies don't tell
what
you the
is
whole
lies and what
truth.
is truth?
They
Because I
don't
know
tell
it's
you the
lies and
whole
what's truth.
truth. They don't tell you the whole truth.
Well,
So
tell
at
me
the end of
what's a
the day,
lie.
you gonna base it off your assumption and your belief at the end of the day.
Yes, sir.
Everything that you coming from your belief standpoint. Me, I have no fight in the case. I don't care either way.
No,
All I want is the truth. At the
I
end of
mean,
the
we
day,
still ain't got
for
nothing about
you, for
you
you,
to
for
a judge.
now, for you not to hold Elijah Muhammad accountable for his misdealings for something that he taught his people at the time not to do, and he did it. That's a
But we
shame
addressed
in
that,
itself.
Herm.
But I'm really done.
Again, brother,
I really
we don't
just want
address
to
that
know the
though,
results
Herm.
of the debate, though. That's what I really want to know.
Herm, but we addressed that again.
I really
You don't have to agree that he's the messenger of Allah.
came on the
But Malcolm
platform.
believed
I
it.
came on the platform and
And
did the
again,
debate, brother. I came in peace, and I wanted to keep it peaceful. So I'm really done with it now, though.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we'll live on peace. And I'm not, uh, I'm not going to excoriate you or nothing like that. I'm trying to pinpoint a point. So because then what you telling me, then there's no research alive done by anybody. Because if we can't, I don't even know. There's a methodology to research, and you got to cross-reference things for it to be consistent. And that's how, especially you talking like young brothers like me and you who went there, you can't just put an isolated quote. But again, I brought the women. I actually got Malcolm apologizing on tape. So let me play that real quick before we get up out of here, because again, it seems to be confusion on a lot of stuff, and we got it
If you
online.
playing a video game, I could post a clip right now too.
Yes, sir. We'll post it.
I don't think that's the way we need to go.
Well, again, I'm not running from no clips or posts. I'm here. And I've never gave you an indication that I've been running for any thing, because again, I take my due diligence and time to cross reference these things to make sure they're legit. But again, the video. Well, hold up. Before I get to that, Malcolm, casual, you said you want to see the video of. You ain't gonna sit
Yes,
here for
sir.
the whole thing, but I'm gonna just. So
Okay.
let's let me screen share my and that's
I got a question.
yes, sir.
Was there judges for this?
Y'all the
I
judges,
stepped
the
out.
people.
I stepped out towards the end.
Hey man, y'all the people, the judges. If we don't have no judges, then we'll just move on from it, and then whatever y'all believe as y'all believe. Um, let's get to this real quick. You see it, casual? Casual.
A little bit. If you could make it
I'm
a
gonna
little
blow
bit.
it up. Don't worry about it.
Okay, okay,
Can you
okay.
see it?
Perfect, perfect. Yes, sir.
This is 1993 Savior's Day, what Herm made reference to earlier.
Yeah, I can't hear anything. Is anybody hearing this?
No, sir, I can't hear it either. He might have the
I wanted
volume
to
off
ask.
because he doesn't want to get copyrighted or anything.
I wanted to ask a few questions though.
Oh, I'm watching the video, but if you want to ask questions while I'm watching it, that's fine. Or if that's
Yeah.
cool with you, brother.
So is Brother O and Herman available? Are we allowed to ask them questions? Is that cool?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, Brother O. What was
Hold up.
your
They say they can't hear it. They can't hear it. Yes, sir.
no?
Nah,
Okay,
I can't.
but I want to know, is it fine to ask you guys questions though? Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. What
Yes.
was
Okay.
okay?
Hold on.
In
Before
my
you
opinion,
do,
in the
go
debate,
ahead.
I was kind of confused on the topic because it did sound like what Casual said. You both were kind of debating different things, but when Herm started talking about Elijah Muhammad and dealing with women, the secretaries or the wives or what was your point in like showcasing the women's like those dates and what was, I'm not sure what your point, the point of your rebuttal was to that. Like can you elaborate a little bit?
Again, this debate was about Malcolm X. Was his allegations legitimate? And so, the biggest thing that sticks out with people is young teenage secretary girls.
Okay.
So that's what's bothering people, not the fact that he had wives. Because if he came out and said he had wives, even if he came out and said he had women, nobody probably wouldn't even bat an eye because we understand that people have a lot of women. But Malcolm used young teenage secretaries for a reason, and he used teenage to incite anger and disbelief. So I brought up the ages and they firstborn child to show that these women wasn't no 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I think the youngest one is 22, which is
Okay.
Mother Tanetta, which she's in this video as well. We're talking about all the way up from 22 to 30. So
okay, I kind of have two questions in a statement. My thing from that is that my understanding, it was not a question in a statement. My thing, it was not necessarily the ages. I know that was exaggerated, but it was kind of like, was I even get confused in the story? Was it fornication or I mean not adultery? Was Elijah Muhammad actually married to these women? Because I understand like even a Muslim is allowed to marry multiple women, and I think it's up to 4 at least. So that's not a problem per se, but was he married to these women before he actually had intimacy?
Again, only one that can speak to that is them, and this is why I'm playing the video. She said that again, forget what I think. They said they were wives.
Okay.
Malcolm X.
It was after they got married after the fact.
That's not true.
They already had
true.
their
Okay, see, I think that's what's important. Were they married after the fact or beforehand?
No, but look, we got Malcolm's own words. He said wives way before 63. I mean 64. He addressed them properly as wives.
Okay, I mean,
so why are we going like?
The thing is that I know. The thing is, and I'm not trying to challenge on this. It's just that I'm just trying to get more clarity on this stuff. And it's like the thing is, I understand that.
I just gave you clarity though. Y'all want?
I got you. Yeah, I got you. You're saying they were married beforehand, but it's like
no, not just I said it. He said it.
They said it, right? You're saying you're showing
Malcolm said it as well.
Yes, I got you. So
but this is the source of the debate. Is Malcolm's
If that's the case, he wouldn't have pursued what he pursued in 64 and would not have been any civil suits. It was actually civil paternity suits. You can look it up.
But they address it. They address it.
Tell him to look it up right now. He'll see that So he'll like he's confused now. He gonna still be confused. They
How,
was not
but
married when he had affairs with those
I
secretaries.
did
They
not
was
run from
not
that though.
married initially, bro. They got married after the fact. You know
How,
that,
I'm glad you said that. Herm, how do you know they got married after the fact?
man. You tripping?
Okay.
Bro. You tripping, bro?
No, I'm tripping. See, how do you know they got
Yes,
married
they
after?
know, bro.
I think that's
No,
the
I'm not
important
trying to be
question.
sly. I'm getting to a point.
I think that's the most important question in that situation. You know,
Thank you. The reason I'm saying that because you just said it, Ishmael, that obviously in Islam we don't have the same standard of a Eurocentric
No,
marriage.
well, I guess he didn't hear me, Ishmael, in my soliloquy throughout the debate, because in the debate I said that he taught his followers they had a strict code on messing with multiple women anyway. So regardless of the fact what they typically do in the Quran, what's in the Quran and all that stuff, he taught his followers not to deal with multiple women at the same time. He
Yes.
taught his followers that. So
Yes.
he was a damn hypocrite by going
No.
against what his teachings.
No.
He's a damn
Again.
hypocrite. You
This is
can't run
again.
around that. You running around that and trying to
Again.
justify what he did.
I explain.
Even though he told all his followers, do not deal with
Herm.
multiple women, but he dealing with multiple women. Come
Because
on,
I
bro.
explained this,
What
Herm,
morals
again.
do you have? What morals do you have, bro? To still keep
Yes,
making
sir.
excuses for that.
Again, where you keep trying to like muddy the water is.
I'm not.
I'm gonna tell you, brother. I'm gonna tell you. You keep calling him a hypocrite, but again, this is why I'm gonna get the sound going again.
How he's not a hypocrite?
Because you don't accept the fact that he was a messenger of God. But
bro, you can't
let me finish, brother.
messenger.
Let me
He
finish.
was not no damn messenger of Allah.
Okay, well
The
that's
Prophet
on your.
Muhammad in the Quran is the messenger of Allah.
I
Not no
get it.
damn Elijah Muhammad. That
Again,
proves my damn point right there.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it do, bro.
Herman. To be fair, I understand what you're saying, Herman. But to be fair, it's like Elijah Muhammad was like the second prophet. He's like the next. It's kind of like to explain it, it's like the next generation of a prophet. Now you don't have to believe it. Like Brother O was saying, you don't have to believe it. So that is their belief system in their organization.
But
beyond that,
that's what that is. It's a cult.
So that's his point. And so, but Brother O, are you saying that Elijah Muhammad it was fine because of his prophecy that he was able to engage in multiple women?
Again, I mean, in the sense of word, yes, because again, the women. This is what, again, if you listen to Malcolm's words, that's what Malcolm said. When I read it from the book, he said, "I found in prophecy again."
This wild,
again, he don't have to accept it, but Malcolm accepted that.
It's not about accepting.
It is, bro, because
it's like if I'm gonna give you a clear example, because you've been doing most of the talking.
Hold on, let me finish.
I finally want to get a little something off, because you've been doing most of the talking, so I want to get a little something off. So, brother,
I was in the middle of something.
If you are following me, if I'm the leader of the NOI, right? And I'm sitting up here
preaching. You don't have no understanding of the NOI.
No, shit, because it ain't the NOI don't have any understanding itself. I'm just trying to reel you in just a general. This is just general life. You've been doing most of the talking. Damn, can I say this? If you don't want me to talk,
you had your chance to talk and you didn't talk. Now you want to cut me off. He asked me a question, brother. He asked me a question.
Damn, man, I'm cool.
He asked me a question, Herm.
Get it off, so I'm cool. Bro.
You can get it off, Herm, but he didn't ask you the question, and then he leave again.
Just go ahead, brother O.
Again, I'm not asking nobody to accept the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as the messenger. You don't have to accept it, but Malcolm did, and not just Malcolm. You see how he's well received. Muhammad Ali believed at one point. I think still he believed to his dying day. Khalid Muhammad believed, if you're familiar who Khalid Muhammad is. And so many others believe that he was the messenger of Allah, based on his work, based on what he did in the time that he did it. Again,
Now,
I'm not here to push my religious doctrine on you because Herm told me to stay away from that. But now I got him caught up in the lie. He want to muddy the water and talk about what we did from a ideology standpoint. Dude, this debate was never about if he's the messenger of God or not. If he wanted that debate, he should have said, let's do that. And I would have came prepared with that today.
yeah, ideology. Okay, so my thing is that I feel like if Herm, this is where some sources would come in. If Herm or something would had a source to say that no, not even the prophet of the Nation of Islam is supposed to be able to do this, or if you had a source to say that it's okay. I mean, I feel like it got to be some type of doctrine and some type of writing.
No,
I don't think
but that's not
I
the
mean,
debate though, Ismail.
I mean, but it kind of
Again,
I understand the ideology, but it's gonna
but
come.
that's not
It's
the
gonna
debate. Yes, hold up. If you've been in it, you wouldn't. I don't know if you know, but when we agreed to this debate, it was about teenage secretary girls because he was calling them a pedo. So that's what I'm addressing. And the other thing was, did we accepted money from H.L. Hunt? This was his two sticking points.
okay. So then
So
I guess if it's really about that, you win. You provided the sources on that, but I mean, like, what kind of that's just I feel like that's just not enough, of a debate to like
but
that could
again,
be
but
that's
that's the
easily
debate.
proven.
That's hold up, Ishmael. I don't.
And that's my
If you
opinion.
want to have a
That's
different
my
debate with
opinion.
somebody about something, that's fine. But the main two things that corner around the nation that they're defending most of the time is did we kill Malcolm?
Yeah, I know. And did
Right.
Elijah Muhammad sleep with underage girls? I
Thank
understand
you.
that.
So
Yeah.
if we're gonna go down the religious doctrine hole, then we can go down everybody's religious doctrine hole and find what you don't agree with or what's not. What ails us for the most part is the COINTELPRO is killing Malcolm and the young teenage secretary girls. This is
Okay,
it.
I think that the part is that Herman was his thing is that perhaps or not only that Elijah Muhammad, his point, not mine, is that he slept with underage girls, but his point is that Elijah Muhammad is a hypocrite for being with multiple women. And
That's fine,
and I
but
guess
that's not a charge. Even if the case, that's not a charge that's heavy against us. Nobody talks about him sleeping with multiple women. It's the teenage secretary girls that's the problem. And
okay.
again, because he don't understand the doctrine, he won't accept that. Like him being able to take on 9 wives. He don't accept the fact that he's the messenger of God. So he looks at him from a different perspective. So he just sees him as just some guy who started this organization and ran amok.
Brother, check the private chat.
But I'm gonna get up out of here. Oh, what I'm gonna get a strike for?
No, I said, no. Well, one, Herm posted 5 videos he wanted you to showcase, and then two, the when you said the P word, PDF is the technical word so that you don't get struck by YouTube.
Right. Okay. So Herm put the video of the barbershop brother. This I saying. This is your source. Like a YouTube of the bald headed brother. Look, I'm gonna put it in the link. I'm gonna put it in the chat for everybody. Herm, put it in the chat so they can have it. Don't put it in the private chat. Put it in the comment section. And so everybody get time to look at it.
Oh, also, I don't know if you saw, but Renegade was saying he was posting a lot of messages as well.
Elijah didn't say what if we did. Farrakhan said that. Again, like
Okay,
we
so
cannot.
I kind of get where you're coming from because so Herm was talking about the legitimacy of a leadership that Elijah Muhammad was and the ideology of if his actions were against the laws of the religion, and then and his ability to be a leader, and you were just saying like, hey, no, this we agreed to uh the
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 legitimacy of his allegation.
unfound, yeah, the untrue statements of Elijah Muhammad in regards to his relationships with women. So, I mean, okay.
But again, but yes, because those two things are what hurt, bother people the most. Again, what we do in our religious doctrine don't bother people because Jews have their own religious thing that people scratch their head at. Christians have their own thing people scratch their head at. So me up here trying to debate you on my ideology, even though we can do that, we'll set a day for that. But that wasn't the debate today. Again, if we were just talking about religious doctrine, me and Herm probably wouldn't be here today having this because I'd be like, okay, you don't accept that. But I'm trying to clean the name about these teenage secretary girls that even Malcom, again, I got Malcolm's word. Before we get out of here, let me play this real quick. I don't know why the sound's not playing as far as the video, but y'all see the video, just go to it. Y'all see it on the screen, just go to it. You can hear the whys. It's what Malcolm X did not tell you, the why speak, part 1, and I think it's a part 2, maybe a part 3, but it's not long, it's maybe 10 minutes, 6 to 10 minutes of each video. And you can hear the whys yourselves. But let me play this clip real quick before we get up out of here. And again, I appreciate everybody for tuning in, even though this didn't turn out the way it should have turned out. But I kind of knew that, that's how good Herm is. He liked to muddy the waters. But I'm gonna play this video real quick.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, hold on. I'm about to play it real quick. God dang it. Come on, play, please. What's going on my speaker? Let me get this clip going to Malcolm. This is Malcolm who recorded himself. I got multiple recordings of Malcolm. I thought we would get to it, but whatever. Maybe, I'll share that and we can share that and talk about it in the Discord. Okay, forget it. I'm gonna play it through the phone. Hopefully y'all can hear this. Having let you down. All right, tell me if you can hear this or not.
I do.
I've made, especially.
You can hear it? Yes, sir. We can hear it.
And we forever thank for giving us the most honorable and humble Elijah Muhammad as our divine leader, teacher, and guide. I want to put what I'm going to say to you on this tape for 2 purposes. Number 1, I want to really apologize to you for having let you down, for the mistakes that I've made, especially during the past year. I want to confess my fault, confess my wrongs. I want to confess my weaknesses. I want you to know that thanks to Allah and you, see myself better now. I'm able to see my weaknesses better now and my shortcomings better now. I do believe that in seeing them better, it may be possible for me to overcome them and become a better person. At least I am praying to Allah that this is the case. And above all else, I'm praying to Allah
put mercy and forgiveness in your heart. And if you weren't merciful nor forgiving toward me, I could well understand it. The purpose in my making this tape, I would like to try and give you a better understanding, or at least a knowledge of what it was that brought about such weakness in me, or brought out the weakness in me and the fault that was in me. And by telling you how it developed in me and what made me do what I did, perhaps it might be possible to prevent the same thing from happening to someone else who may be well-meaning, but who at the same time, through certain exposure and conditions, can fall victim to the same thing that I fell victim to. In telling you these things, I hope that I don't sound like I'm going to be passing the buck. I hope that I don't sound like I'm trying to get others in trouble just because I'm in trouble. I hope that I don't sound like I'm trying to make things worse than they are. And above all else, I hope that I'm not getting too deep into matters that don't concern me. But I can see that the wisest course for me to take on this matter actually would be the course of silence. I should forget it. I should not have another word to say about it. But I want you to have a case history of everything that led up to this, so that you can see all of those who are around you, the part that they played in it, and then weigh the whole situation for yourself.
Now, that's only a few minutes or a minute or so of a 40-minute apology recording that he did. He goes through the whole thing. That's Malcom. So he's apologizing. So out of a sudden, Malcom words don't matter. If I bring up the daughter's words, they don't matter. And just another thing, so we're clear on this, we do know the family is suing the FBI, the CIA, and the NYPD for the assassination of their father. And they did, again, this is the second time this investigation has been open. And both times it's been these investigations that have said the Nation of Islam was not involved. Twice. They did it in the 70s with a consular, and Ben Crump now is taking the case for the family. $100 million lawsuit. Again, I thought we would get to it, but y'all can look that up. I don't have to source that because y'all can just Google that real quick. That's an easy find. And if you read through it, he tells you that the Nation of Islam was not implicated. This was a government job. And it also states that the FBI and the CIA purposely tried to create a friction or fracture between Malcom and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad by planting false allegations like I'm up here defending today. That's under lawsuits, people. I'm giving you sources you can go to so you don't have to hear me and Herm give our opinions anymore. I'm done with the opinions. I'm giving you sources to go look at it. So
I got more questions. I got a little more questions that I want to ask, but I know you're busy, so I'll see.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead with the question, brother.
No, I'm a little busy as well, so.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna see you in the anyway. So I'll ask you when the time comes.
Okay. With that being said, we probably get her. I don't know what that means. That's what they do, Renegade. You know. Oh, you talking about the CIA? Yeah, you're right. And they'll be. That's what they do. Again, I was trying to. I thought this debate would go a lot better, but the reason I put William O'Neill up there in the beginning because William O'Neill was a government agent and an asset. He helped give the layout to Fred Hampton's bedroom, and he gave Fred Hampton some sleepy medicine. So when the police came in, Fred Hampton couldn't even defend himself. He can barely lift his head. Nobody goes around blaming the Black Party, the Black Panthers, which they shouldn't. I'm not suggesting you should. But I'm saying if you can have that same type of logic and understanding with what they did to the Black Party Panther, then clearly you can understand what they did to the Nation of Islam. And they had to do it to us on a much larger scale because we were much more structured. So they just couldn't get to some willy-nilly couple of guys. They had multiple guys, multiple agents. Not only just in the Nation of Islam, but in Malcolm's group too. Did Malcolm's AOU, did they kill him? Nobody says that. Muslim Mosque Incorporated, did they kill him? Nobody says that. The only blame gets stuck on the Nation of Islam. But they had government efficient assets in his camp. His head of security, 67X, Sabaz. I think that's 67X. He the one that told people to do no searching and no guns that night. If they could have searched that night and brought in guns, Malcolm might have still been here today.
Yeah.
But you know what's even more better? You'll forget now because we didn't get to this point. But remember, this is Malcolm got poisoned in Egypt. They were trying to kill him in Egypt before he even got back to the States. So you know we didn't have nothing to do with that. They poisoned Malcolm in Egypt. He tried to go to France. France would not let him in. Why? Because they have obviously CIA intel. This like the Nation of Islam don't have nothing. We can't do nothing to the French government. They understood that the CIA and the FBI were trying to take out Malcolm, and they said it. We're not going to have the blood of Malcolm X's hand on our hand. This is all factual stuff. It's out there. The FBI files are there. We can read them. So hopefully we can move forward with this. Like, I knew I wasn't going to change Herm's mind. Today wasn't about changing Herm's mind. Today was about putting the evidence on the table and having you people judge it. You don't have to agree with our ideology. We're not asking you to. We're going to keep doing what we do. It's for the ideology standpoint. And it's gotten us this far. Because all them other black organizations y'all be talking about are not here today. If they're here, they're very minuscule. And that's no disrespect to them. But the Nation of Islam is still sitting here under government surveillance to this day. So clearly we're doing something right. So with that being said, man, I'm about to get out of here. I thank Herm for allowing this discussion to happen, even though it didn't go as exactly if I wanted to. I really wanted to get into a scholarly debate. But once I knew Herm he didn't want to do 10 minutes, I knew what I was dealing with as far as I was going to be constricted with time and I wouldn't be able to flush out some of this information. But nevertheless, I didn't want to back out because, you know, the point I had to get it done.
You know, even if the debate didn't go as well, like you guys were arguing two different things, I actually wanted to hear more reasons from Herm why like Elijah Muhammad is not a good leader. Like to me, it wasn't enough. He didn't really provide enough like why he wasn't a good leader. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah, I mean, he spoke on it about the hypocrisy in his mind. He found it hypocrisy, hypocritical.
Yeah, but he kept regurgitating the same thing. It wasn't like point to another situation where you think that Elijah Muhammad is an awful leader, you know?
Right.
So it's like,
well,
and
he
it's like,
didn't point to too many. That again, again, there's people online you can find that are criticized, but again, that's with everybody, right?
Yeah.
Again, you being born into a nation at one point, you know one of the things is you can tell a tree by its fruit. Again, what type of men did he produce? If you go out and look at the men that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad produced, you see well upstanding men in the community, scholars in the community. You can see men in their 60s looking 30 because of his diet, way of life. Women, the women on stage that I'm pointing, his wives, these women that are 60s and something, looking 30s. You can tell by the fruit, or you can tell the tree by the fruit it bears. You can say what you want, but from all this religious doctrine that Herm has a problem with, we got Farrakhan. Whether you agree with him or not, he's one of the most influential black men in the world. Most people say he is the freest black man in the world. He's the only one. From that, Elijah Muhammad, you got Malcolm X, you got a Muhammad Ali, you got a Khalid Muhammad, you got a Dr. Wesley Muhammad, a student minister Nuri Muhammad. You got a bunch of rappers, Public Enemy. All those conscious group that we go back to the 80s, a lot of their consciousness was in the Nation of Islam. They were dropping Nation of Islam references left and right in their songs. And that's another debate for another day of why gangster rap came into to undergirth the conscious rap that were bringing that was steadily heavily connected to the Nation of Islam and their teachings. But that's another thing for another day. So you might not agree with Elijah Muhammad taking on wives. But again, that's not for you to agree. We don't care if you agree. We hardly believe that he's the messenger of God, and the messenger of God, as a messenger of God, he had a duty and he had a responsibility based on what he wanted. If Master Farad Muhammad gave him something to do, he was to do it. And as you see now, because he did it, his lineage lives on to this day. He has grandchildren, great-grandchildren now out here in the world. You might not know them because, but if you go look at them, you can see these people. I'm about to be in Savior's Day in 2 weeks, in a week. I'm going to see, hopefully, Allah willing, I get to see some of these grandkids. I'm going to see some of the children of Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They're here today. Ishmael. Speaking of Ishmael, brother Ishmael, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's son. He speaks every Sunday now. These ain't sick individuals we thought. These don't look like people that was mother was taken advantage of as a teenager. These are mind, sound, body of people with high intellect and high moral character. You can't find no dirt on them. If you want to throw dirt on Honorable Elijah Muhammad for hearsay and all that, okay, we'll defend that. But the prodigies that he produced, can you throw dirt on them? You can. Now you can have a disagreement about what somebody said, but that don't make a person a bad person. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has built something that people are feeding off to this day. Intermittent fasting, where do you think they come from? The black man is God. Nobody was running around here saying that. Not only we say it today, we believe it. Why do we believe it? But again, I don't want to push religious doctrine on you. I'm just trying to get you to understand something. Forget if you agree. I don't care. We don't care if you agree with the ideology. So you telling me that Orthodox Islam is better with the things they doing? How they treat their women? You can't name a woman in the Nation of Islam, especially the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wives, to say they were mistreated. Go talk to them women over there in the Sunni Islam. They can barely even talk. They beat them. Name a woman in the Nation of Islam that got beat by a man or their husband.
We don't want to go there. I understand your point.
No,
I
we
understand
can,
your point, bro.
Again, I'm not saying it's absolutely.
It's not perfect, but I understand your point.
We're talking about as a culture. Like,
yeah, right. I
isolate,
got you, bro. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I'm not trying to.
And I'm talking about officials at this point. I'm talking about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Ismail, anybody that Dr. Nuri, Brother Wesley, Khalid Muhammad.
Right, the Orthodox Muslim, the Orthodox religion does have a lot of, like, they kind of support that type of life. It depends on where you at, it's
and again, I'm not trying to start no war with my Orthodox Islam brother, because we are trying to bridge a gap, but their culture and how they do things are not the same culture as us. We share Islam together, but we don't share the culture of Islam together. That's different. So when Herm keep talking about what they don't agree with, we don't want to agree with beating our women. We don't want to agree with just murdering people for the hell of it. No, brother. We don't agree with Orthodox Islam on that. So if your standard is Orthodox Islam, when they 20 wives that they have, they got wives they probably don't even see half the time. And again, these women, you can hear and see themselves. You can see them speak for themselves. We don't have to speak for them. If you don't want to believe themselves, then what are we doing at that point? We don't have to have a discussion. I'm going to tell you something right now. If something happened to me and you want to get the best information you can get, go to my woman or go to my mother, or you can go to a close family member, a cousin, if you want to know me. And if they say I said it, I said it. And if you hear 2 or 3 of them saying the same thing, then you know it's true. If I told my mom one thing one day, and I told my cousin one thing another day, and I told my woman one thing another day, 3 different sources that could corroborate the same thing, you could take that's a fact at that point. That's why this debate, I cross-reference. Well, actually, Dr. Wesley did all the hard work for me. I just had to go look it up myself, because I had to see it with my own eyes. So I cross-reference something that's already been cross-referenced. But anyway, I don't want. I'm not here to preach. I wish Herm would have came with some sources, but he didn't. But that's Herm's style. You know what I'm saying? But
all right, brother. I appreciate it, bro, sharing the information and stuff. A lot of the stuff I heard, but it's good to hear some of it and different, people that disagree. Too bad it didn't go as planned as it completely did. But
yeah, so you already know though. But the problem is, like, what you knowing is people heard it, but they don't have a reference for it. Today, you're right. Today wasn't about giving no brand. I do have brand new information we didn't get to, but today was about sourcing what we heard.
Yeah.
So if I said something happened, I can substantiate that with something factual, not just hearsay and just me yelling. So you're right. A lot of this we have heard, but today was about substantiate what we heard. And what, again, Herm came up here and told you Khadijah Farrakhan was in a paternity suit. Khadijah Farrakhan. Now that don't make no sense. That's the Minister Farrakhan's wife, and he didn't even have the name Farrakhan at the time. So clearly we know something off with his research. Like, how did we take that serious when you come in here having you bringing up 2 women that wouldn't even know were involved? So what? How do I combat that lie? That's just pretty simple. That's not one of Elijah Muhammad's wives. That's Minister Farrakhan's wife. And again, he was Louis' ex at the time. But see, that tells me when a man don't go and do no research. He put in the private chat barbershop. That brother that he goes around just killing on the nation of all the time with no real sources of anything. And that's I'm supposed to take that seriously, y'all? I don't know what to do with it. And I'm not trying to start no war again with Herm. I'm not trying to belittle you, Herm. But I'm saying, brother, that was poor information and scholarship. You came in here talking about some woman that wasn't even involved in anything. Didn't even have the name Farrakhan at the time. So how am I supposed to go research that when she know we're involved in anything? But with that being said, man, y'all can take it what y'all want. Again, if people want to know about the murder assassination, I can bring details about that another time, and maybe I just don't do a debate. I'll just lay it out. So now you can see what the government did from A to B and how Malcom got caught in it, unfortunately. But with that being said, man, this is not to denigrate Brother Malcom. He's still one of our greatest. And we love Brother Malcom, what he did for the Nation of Islam. And we're going to continue to raise and give him flowers. We won't let Herms of the world take us from Malcom. He will forever be a Nation of Islam member. Or he will always be a Muslim. Because y'all fell in love with Malcom that was in the Nation of Islam, 12 years of it. He was out the nation for less than a year and was trying to get back. So the Malcom you fell in love with was Minister Malcolm X of the Nation of Islam. That's the man you fell in love with. That's the man y'all you giving adulation to this day. Unfortunately, it ended the way it ended, but so did Martin Luther King. His life ended tragically. JFK at that time. You noticed all these murders are by each other. I was going to get into how they was connected too. So with that being said, Sturdy, you got any last things you want to get off your chest?
I'm gonna hold you to this information, brother.
Which part? Which one? What you talking about?
I'm talking about what you just said. Like you can't be dropping nuggets like that. Like the hip hop point, which was fire. The bar when you were saying in regards to you tell what a tree is by the nature of its fruit, and what you just said now and how it's all connected on Malcolm X, JFK, and MLK assassination. See,
Yes,
you can't just leave them nuggets like that, brother, and just like, all right, I'm gonna get out of here. And like, nah, bro. Like at some point, we gon' brother. I hold you to it to these drafts. I'm gonna hold you to it to these type of contests, brother. As you can see, a lot of people are interested in this. A lot of people are interested in this because it's informative, and to be honest with you, it's a necessary balance.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I told you in private, and the same day I told you, the same day that happened when we established the debate topic, which you are correct, that was the debate topic. I'm like, to be honest with you, brother, this more is not even about the debate itself, it's more so about the opportunity to present the information, like you said before, to put the sources on the table and let the people judge. And so once as you saw throughout the days, we was trying to figure out what's the proper structure. I think, and I kind of blame myself. I should have just been straightforward to you and be like, you know what, brother, what is the best structure for you to give a great presentation?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I wish that was better. I wish y'all at least was arguing the same thing, so that way more information could get presented. But regardless, brother, I think you messed up from this standpoint. You can't just drop nuggets like that and not deliver on it. So we gonna work that out. There's definitely more content coming.
We'll
Definitely more content coming.
That's no problem right there. Look, I'm gonna give you a name. Lauren Marita. That's LOREN MARITA. Why am I bringing her up right now before we get out of here? Because she's one of the pins that connect. Well, not connect, but she helps legitimize the connection between Malcolm, JFK, and Martin. Not that they're connected, but at that time, what the U.S. government was trying to get rid of. And so there was a kill list. And we understand, and Marita, she's the baby mother of two dictators. Well, one, Fidel Castro is her baby mama, baby father, and another brother, and she was a government agent sent in. So she had a baby with a man, right, as a government agent. And she said she overheard the officials talk about the three people was on this kill list. I think it was Kill Red. I gotta go back and make sure, but something I think it was Kill Red. Martin, JFK, and Malcolm was on that list. But we definitely get into that. And the hip hop thing, we get in there as well. We definitely get into that as well. With that being said, I appreciate everybody coming through. This was as well as to be expected. I feel I woke up with a headache this morning, and I hate that I did all that sourcing and not to even use all that stuff. But
no, you gonna use it. You definitely gonna use it, brother. Yeah, we gonna definitely do a video.
With that
because
being said, man,
like believe it or not, like people like what Herm did is like a lot of people do have that opinion of the nation, right? And like Ishmael said earlier, those are the two biggest claims, at least towards Elijah Muhammad specifically. So I think this information is necessary. And like you said before too, not only today and also in the Discord, like your brothers from the nation already put this information out there, but there's nothing wrong with doing it again.
Right. And then we'll do it again for sure. And I'll do a presentation or something. I'll do a day. We can make a day out of it and figure it out. And we'll try to make it a little bit more, fluid. And we'll see what happens. But like I said, it was good. It's gonna be hard to get me to do these live streams because I'm busy. But we definitely will get into it. I still haven't forgot. I'm supposed to get you the information about with the food too that I did with Tiffany.
Yeah.
So I'll get it at some point. But yeah, and again, on a more lighter topic though, we should the NFL draft or the NBA all-time 2K draft. We're gonna do it. I'm going to Chicago next week for Savior's Day. So hopefully in March I can get to it. We'll get to it. But next week I'm gonna go enjoy Savior's Day and I'm gonna have fun. So with that, man, appreciate you those 30 though for clearing that air about what the topic was. And
yeah, no doubt, brother. You know what it is, man.
So with that being said, man, see y'all next time. The next one will be 2K draft. So we'll get to the 2K draft. Anyway,
we going for a repeat. Can you dig it?
He did win the last one. 30 is the reigning champ, y'all. He is the reigning champ. With that being said, peace, man, to everybody that came through, man.
Peace.
All right, bro. Peace out.
Yo, Ishmael, stand by real quick after the show.
Okay.